I want to begin by acknowledging with thanks our co-organizers, the Ministry of National Food Security and Research, the Ministry of Water Resources, Ministry of Climate Change, Federal Flood Commission of Pakistan, Pakistan Agricultural Research Council. That list of different government agencies involved in today's event tells you the importance of bringing together different sectors, different areas of thinking, different sources of solutions for addressing the kinds of challenges that are before us with climate change. I also want to thank Mohsen Hafiz, my colleague, Director of Water, Food and Ecosystems at IWMI, and all of the IWMI Pakistan team for organizing today's event. Our world faces complex challenges, and not least of which is the future of water and food security. These challenges are dynamic, they're interdependent, and they're being intensified by climate change, by the shifts in demands that are occurring, and increased competition for finite water resources. According to the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, and its most recent report from last year, each degree of warming makes water security harder to achieve. This is because warming adds energy to the hydrological cycle, and physics being physics, that means more extreme events. It can be boiled down to as simple a message as that. We add energy to the hydrological cycle, we get more extreme events. We get changes in the timing, the distribution, the intensity and variability of rainfall, and that brings floods, droughts, and other extreme water events. And as we are experiencing them here in Pakistan and in all corners of the world, we see making them more frequent and severe. For Pakistan, the situation is that Pakistan is responsible for less than 1% of the world's planet warming gases, yet it is the 5th most vulnerable nation to the climate crisis. With about 92% of Pakistan classified as arid or semi-arid, and the vast majority of Pakistan's people dependent on limited surface and groundwater resources, Pakistan is vulnerable to climate change. In addition to that challenge, water resources in the Indus Basin face severe pressures: burgeoning population growth, urbanization, overexploitation of groundwater, pollution from cities and industry, and unsustainable water use in agriculture. Per capita freshwater availability in Pakistan has fallen below the widely used benchmark for water scarcity of 1,000 cubic meters per person per year. And that is in turn affecting water availability for food production. In Pakistan, over 90% of freshwater resources are used for agriculture, and just 1% of more than 4 billion cubic meters of wastewater generated annually is treated. According then also to the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, these pressures on water resources are expected to worsen after mid-century as declining river flows caused by loss of glacier storage takes hold. And in IWMI, our own modeling, which we completed in 2021 under the CGIAR Water, Land and Ecosystems programs, predicts that by 2040, the Indus will be one of only 5 basins out of 30 that we assessed worldwide that will be categorized as facing extreme water scarcity. Water security and its relationship to food security is an acute challenge in Pakistan, and that challenge is becoming only more severe and more difficult under climate change. But Pakistan does have important strengths to be built on and to be leveraged to address climate, water, and food security. It has a young and dynamic workforce which can drive economic growth and drive the kinds of innovations that we need to address these problems. It has a rich cultural heritage and a vibrant civil society which can help mobilize public support for action, public support for climate action and for sustainable development and the sustainable transformation of Pakistan's all-important water systems. The country has a strategic location at the crossroads of South Asia and Central Asia and the Middle East, and that provides opportunities also, if we're smart, it provides opportunities also for building regional cooperation and integration that are so important for this challenge. So Pakistan does have opportunities now to attract new investors, new donors, new private investment to build its climate resilience. And there are, of course, significant efforts underway in collaboration with the private sector, the scientific community, and other stakeholder groups. The government of Pakistan has made significant strides in their efforts to mitigate and adapt to the impacts of climate change. It has the Indus River Authority, which was created in 1992 to regulate and manage the distribution of water in the Indus, the Jhelum, and the Chenab rivers between provinces. It has the National Water Policy Framework launched in 2017, which is based on the principles of integrated water resource management. It lays down a broad policy framework and set of principles for water security. And that is being used to guide provincial governments to formulate their respective master plans and projects for water conservation, water development, and water management. In 2018, Pakistan launched the National Water Policy to improve water security in the country and ensure sustainable utilization of water resources. This policy has 33 objectives to strengthen water management in Pakistan. Pakistan, therefore, does have in place the basic framework for governance of water to provide that backbone for water management that's so critical to building climate resilience, that will be so critical in meeting the challenge of building water-resilient food systems. At IWMI, at my institute, our aim is to contribute to building on those foundations, to building on that foundational architecture that Pakistan has in place, with knowledge and evidence and data and information to support better decision-making, to support the development of new solutions, and building on existing initiatives that are underway. We are working at IWMI in Pakistan to support government efforts in implementing the water governance framework at national and provincial levels. We support capacity building, for example, around solar-powered pumps for the abstraction of groundwater and the climate mitigation and adaptation benefits that technology brings. We work to guide farmers, industries, policymakers through climate-smart interventions. We help the Pakistan government carry out flood damage assessments and aid recovery efforts in the wake of extreme flooding events, including, of course, the tragic floods that took place in Pakistan in 2022. We are working with partners to make use of water in local and regional irrigation systems to be more productive, to be more sustainable, to boost household incomes. We're helping to build the capacity of irrigation and agricultural departments and farmers as well to build water channels, ensure the equitable distribution of water resources, and measure flows and weather patterns, and help institutions and farmers to respond to those. But we all in this room, I'm sure we have no doubts that there are major challenges that remain, such as in rural settlements. Water contamination and poor sanitation cause high levels of illness and child stunting. That lack of an integrated water management implementation and the fragmentation that reflects between sectors in the way that they manage and invest in water resources and use water resources. The ongoing friction and disputes that exist between the federal and provincial government and that leading to inadequate implementation of policies and lack of, for example, storage capacity. The greater efforts that are needed to regulate water competition and provide quality water services to all communities, and the effort to conserve water resources and improve water security as part of the efforts around sustainable development. At IWMI, we're committed to working through partnerships at all levels, local, provincial, through to federal level, to tackle these and other challenges in Pakistan and accelerate this transformation of water management for water, food, and climate security that we will be talking about in today's event. So we hope that the event today will contribute to setting a pathway forward for Pakistan on these critical issues as we, in the run-up to COP28, a pathway for the urgent action that is needed on the impacts of climate change, water scarcity, and food security, and how they are intensifying here and elsewhere. Pakistan does have significant strengths. There is hope for building resilience, but collective action amongst governments, communities, business, development partners, and research organizations is critical and will be critical as we go forward. As we gear up then for COP28, our aim is that this meeting provides an opportunity for us to discuss new ways for us to collaborate, and rally around the need to transform water, energy, and food systems in Pakistan. I'm very pleased that as IWMI, the next steps in this effort for us will be that we're working to support the Ministry of Climate Change in developing a position paper on water and climate change for COP28. We're contributing advice to Pakistan's climate negotiation team on water issues, and we'll be conveying the outputs from today's discussions to Pakistan Water Week, which takes place here in Islamabad, December 4th to 6th, and then into COP28 and the various forums that we will all be part of there. So I look forward to your insights on ways to transform water and food system within the context, within the intense challenges around climate change that Pakistan faces. And I wish all of you, all participants, a very productive day and a fruitful sets of discussions. So thank you very much.